Very good morning, everyone. Today I am going to teach you all lesson 4 or chapter 4, the theory of the firm under perfect competition. What is perfect competition we are going to learn in this lesson, and we are also going to study as to how a firm performs under this market. Yes, perfect competition and the behavior of a firm under this market is what we are going to learn today. When we speak about perfect competition is nothing but a market wherein we find that there are a large number of buyers and sellers. This market is having a buyers who are in large numbers, at the same time it is having a sellers who are also in the large numbers. So what do these buyers and the sellers do? These buyers and sellers, they buy and sell the commodities in the market. So before we study about this perfect competition, let us understand as to what do we mean by a market first. What is a market? Market is nothing but a place wherein we find that the buyers and the sellers, they come together. They come and they meet each other and they buy the commodities. They buy and sell the commodities. So now the question arises as to when we speak about a market, whether these buyers and sellers should physically meet with each other. No, it is not sure that every time these buyers and sellers should meet each other physically. So what they can do when they want to buy the commodity? So when we want to buy the commodity, these buyers and sellers can do a phone call. Through the phone call, the commodities can be booked. Through online, we can buy the commodity, and there are many modes wherein we find that a person can buy a commodity. So when we are speaking about a market, suppose we find that there is one seller who wants to sell commodity. We can take an example of cotton. Cotton is the best example that we can use for perfect competition. So suppose a buyer, he wants to buy cotton, and there are many sellers for cotton. Now when there are large number of buyers and sellers for cotton, a seller who is selling cotton from Maharashtra, cotton he is selling from Maharashtra. There is a seller who is selling a cotton from Maharashtra. He can do nothing to the seller who is buying a cotton from Karnataka. So we will study about it in detail later. Let us understand as to what is the meaning of market first, and then we will move on to the perfect competition. So when we speak about a market, a place wherein the buyers and the sellers meet, that is a meaning that we all know it, and we also do that when we go out of our house, we go to the market, we buy different commodities from the market, and we purchase the commodities at the different prices. So the same thing we are going to learn in this chapter, also named as the theory of firm under perfect competition. To start with, firstly we should understand as to what are the features of perfect competition. So when we are speaking about the features of perfect competition, the first feature of perfect competition is the large number of buyers and sellers. This market has a large number of buyers and sellers. So what do these buyers and sellers do? These buyers and sellers, they buy the commodities. Sellers sell the commodity and the buyers buy the commodity in this market. So when we are speaking about a large number of buyers and sellers, one individual seller cannot influence the price. It's a point to remember that a seller, one individual seller can't influence the price. He cannot influence the price. Similarly, when we are seeing from the point of view of the buyers, buyers also have to take the commodity at the price which is being fixed. That means even the buyers cannot change the price. So sellers cannot influence the price, and the buyers, they have to buy the commodity which is at the price which is fixed in the market. That means the buyer can also not influence the price or the demand. They are not in a position to influence both. That is the first feature of a perfect competitive market, which says that this market has a large number of buyers as well as sellers, and these buyers and sellers, they cannot influence or regulate the price. The sellers have to sell the commodity at the price that is being fixed. Similarly, the buyers have to buy the commodity at the price which is being fixed. Both are not having a power to influence the price. That is the first feature of a perfect competitive market. Next point is homogeneous or identical product. What is the meaning of the word homogeneous? Homogeneous means same. Something which is same. It also means that the buyers are buying the same products and the sellers are selling the identical product. So when we are speaking about the homogeneity of the product in a perfect competition, it means that the products are similar. In what way? They are identical. Products are identical in shape, in size, they are identical in terms of color, they are identical in terms of the chemical content. Products are similar, they are homogeneous. What is the meaning of that? It means that one product does not differ from the other product in any way. All the products the sellers are selling in the market are same. In what way they are same? They are same in terms of the shape, they are same in terms of the color, in terms of the package, in terms of even the chemical content that they have. They are similar product. There is no variations we can find in such types of market. As I have already given you an example of cotton, for example. Cotton is similar in color, shape, size. A person who is buying a cotton from Mangalore or he is buying from any other place, it is the same. So a buyer, when he is buying a commodity, is similar. There is no changes in a commodity when we are speaking about the perfect competition, and that is the second feature of perfect competition, that the products are homogeneous or identical. They are not varying in any way from each other. So it is a market which is having a large number of buyers and sellers, a market wherein these buyers and sellers are buying the homogeneous product or they are buying the identical products, and these products are not varying from each other in any way. These products are similar in all the fashion. For example, identical in terms of color, in terms of shape, in terms of size, in terms of chemical contents, or in all the way. So we will not find that there is any variation in this market for the product which is being sold by the seller. Third point, or the third feature of a perfect competitive market is each buyer and seller is a price taker and not the price maker. Yes, what do we mean by that? The seller is a price taker, buyer is a price taker, and the buyer is not a price maker. That means the buyer cannot influence the price in the market. The buyer cannot influence the demand in the market. So when we are speaking about this price taker, the buyer is a price taker and not a price maker. Even the seller is a price taker and not the price maker. Suppose one seller, he decides that okay, I am going to change this particular product at a higher price. So when a seller decides to sell a particular product at a higher price, he will lose all his buyers in this market. That is a third feature of a perfect competitive market, which states that if a seller decides to change the price, if a seller decides to bring the fluctuations in the price, so when the prices will change, the buyers will also leave the market. The buyers have many sellers in the market. The buyers know that suppose if this one particular seller, he is charging more price from me for a particular product, I can leave this seller. Why? Because the same product I can get from the another shop. I can go to the other seller, I can buy. Even seller also know that if he is going to change the price of a product, the seller knows that he is going to lose his customers, he is going to lose his buyers. So that is a third feature of a perfect competitive market, that each buyer and seller is a price taker and they are not the price maker, which says that a seller under perfect competition has to sell the product at the market price. Seller, it says that the seller has to sell the product at market price. Market price means the price which is being fixed. Similarly, the buyers also will buy the commodity at the market price. Sellers are selling the commodity and buyers are buying the commodity at market price, which states that both the sellers and the buyers are buying the commodity at the market price. They cannot influence the price. Because why they cannot influence the price? Because the products are homogeneous, and if a seller tries to bring little fluctuation in the price, the customers, they will leave their place or they will leave their market and they will go to the other shop and they can buy the same products from the other seller. So that is a fear that the seller has, that if he tries to bring the fluctuations in it, he is definitely going to lose his customer, which is a loss for him under a perfect competitive market. So we have studied so far the three features of perfect competition: a large number of buyers and sellers selling the commodity. What type of commodity they are selling? They are selling the identical product. Buyers and sellers are selling a homogeneous product. These products are same in all the way. They are homogeneous in terms of color, shape, size and package. Even the chemical content that they have, everything is similar in these products. Third one, the buyers and sellers are the price taker and they are not the price maker, which states that the buyers and sellers, they cannot do anything to influence the price of a commodity. They cannot do anything to change the price of a commodity. A buyer has to buy the commodity at a price which is being fixed, and even the seller has to sell the commodity which is being fixed at the market price. Next point is perfect information. What is the meaning of that? It says that both the buyers and the sellers, they have a complete information. They have a complete information about what? About the market price. They have a complete information about the market price, as to what is the price, about the technology that we are using, what type of technology that is being used in the production of a commodity. And since the products are homogeneous, so that way we can say that both the buyers as well as the sellers, they have a complete information about the price in the market, or they are having a complete information about the technology that is being used in the market, about the products that is being homogeneous, and the prevailing market price. That means what is the price of a particular product which is being available in the market. That is the meaning of that. The last feature says that free entry and exit, which means that the firms are free to enter or exit from the market. In this market, the firms are free to enter and exit from market. What does this mean now? It says that if the particular firm is under losses, if it finds that now whatever product it is being selling and it is not getting any profit, the firm can leave the market. It is not necessary that the firm has to remain in the market even after having a losses and even after having the situation where it is not even able to cover its average variable cost. At that particular point, the firm can take a decision and it can leave the market. So that is the meaning of that. The firms are free to enter into the market. At the same time, the firms are free to exit from the market if they find that there is a losses. To summarize, it is a market wherein we find a large number of buyers and sellers. They are selling a homogeneous product, and each buyer and sellers, they are the price taker and not the price maker, and they have a perfect information about the price that is there in the market. That means a buyer cannot influence the market price, even the seller cannot influence the market price. And if a particular seller finds that the seller is having a loss in the market, he can definitely leave the market. So that is the meaning of free entry as well as exit from the market. Once you find that you are having a loss, you can always leave the market or you can continue into the market. That is the meaning of perfect competition. Now next we are going to study about is the revenue. What is the meaning of revenue and what is the role of revenue when we are studying about perfect competitive market? Every firm, when it wants to continue into the market, or every firm when it is selling the product in the market, the purpose of selling any commodity in the market is the business or the revenue. Any business is expecting the income or the revenue. So without revenue or without the profit, nobody is interested to work in any market. So this revenue plays a very important role when we are studying about the perfect competitive market. So what is a revenue? Revenue is nothing but the income that the firm gets by selling the goods as well as the services in the market. So revenue is nothing but the income. It is nothing but the income that the firm gets by selling the goods in the market. When we are selling any commodity in the market, so when we are selling the commodities, we in return, the sellers in return will get some income, and that is called as the revenue. Now the first concept under revenue is total revenue. So let us understand as to what is the meaning of total revenue and what is the formula for that. So first concept is TR, total revenue. TR is equal to P into Q. That is the formula for the total revenue, which states that total revenue is equal to TR is equal to P into Q, price into quantity. What is the meaning of this formula? Total revenue is nothing but the total income that we get. So when we get this total income, how we get this total income? We get this total income by selling all the units of output in the market. So when we are speaking about the total revenue is nothing but the income, or it is the market price of a commodity which we seller can get by multiplying the price as well as the quantity. So by selling all the commodities, the firm will get the income. So selling, the firm gets, it refers to the income that the firm gets by selling all the commodities in the market. So here we have to find out as to what is TR. TR stands for total revenue. TR is total revenue, and P stands for price, and Q stands for quantity or firm's output. It can be quantity or the firm's output. What is the level of output which is being produced by the firm is called as Q. So TR is equal to P into Q. TR stands for total revenue, P stands for the price, and Q stands for the quantity or the firm's output. The next topic which we have to study is average revenue. What is the meaning of average revenue? Average revenue is defined as total revenue per unit of output. It is total revenue per unit of output. So what is the meaning of that? To get the average revenue, what we should do? We have to divide the total revenue by the number of units that is being produced. So we can define the formula as AR is equal to TR by Q. So TR, what is TR here? TR stands for total revenue. TR stands for total revenue. And what is Q? Q is the quantity. Total revenue, and Q stands for the quantity. So that is the formula. Average revenue, we are studying one by one. First is the total revenue, second is average revenue. So what is average revenue? Average revenue is nothing but TR by Q. Total revenue divided by the quantity is called as average revenue. The third concept which we are going to read today is about marginal revenue. Yes, the third point is MR. What is the meaning of MR or the marginal revenue? Marginal revenue is defined as total revenue when there is a changes in the total revenue or increase in total revenue with the additional production of additional unit. Increase in total revenue, MR is nothing but increase in total revenue. Total revenue is increasing when it is increasing with the additional production. Any unit which is produced extra, when we are producing additional unit or when we are increasing the output, the total revenue increases. That is the meaning of marginal revenue. So marginal revenue is nothing but increase in the total revenue with the in addition to the additional unit of a commodity. When it is added, that is called as a marginal revenue. The formula for marginal revenue is MR is equal to change in TR by change in Q. Change in total revenue divided by change in quantity. So in a perfect competitive market, the point which we have to remember is MR is equal to AR is equal to P. MR is equal to AR is equal to P. Once again, we will see as to what are the various concepts that we are studying under the revenue. Revenue, there are three concepts which we are learning here. What is the first concept? Stands for the total revenue. Total revenue is nothing but the total income which is earned. How are we getting this total income? This total income is earned by selling all the units of the commodity which is produced by the seller. A seller has produced a commodity, and when he is selling all the commodities in the market, after selling all the commodities in the market, what is the income in return that he is getting is called as the total revenue. So what we have done here, price into quantity. So when we are selling a commodity, a price plays a very important role for any purchase or the sale that is being done. At what price? Since in a perfect competitive market, we have already studied that a firm is a price taker and not the price maker. So price is being fixed at a particular price. The firm is selling the commodity. So how many units of a commodity that it is selling is called as a total revenue. The next one is the average revenue. So average revenue, we have a formula, total revenue per unit of output, TR by Q. Q stands for the output. That means that total income that we are getting by selling a particular commodity, and whatever income that we are getting by selling a particular unit of a commodity divided by how many units we have sold is called as the average revenue. And the last concept that we are having is the marginal revenue. So what is the meaning of marginal revenue? Marginal revenue is change in TR divided by change in the quantity, or we can also write it as marginal revenue. We can write the formula for the marginal revenue is change in total revenue, change in total revenue divided by the change in the quantity. Change in the total revenue divided by the change in quantity is the marginal revenue. So for a perfect competitive market, MR is equal to AR. We have written MR is equal to AR, and MR is equal to AR is also called as the price. That is a point we have to remember. That means the price is same as marginal revenue, the price is same as average revenue in a perfect competitive market. So this is about the revenue concepts that we have studied about a perfect competitive market. Now let us try to understand this each concepts. Now we have written these formulas. It is not it may be there that we cannot understand as to what is the meaning of these concepts and what do we understand by that. So to understand in a better way, let us try to find in detail as to what does it mean. What do we mean by TR? What do we mean by AR? Or what do we mean by MR? TR is the total revenue, price into quantity. AR is the TR by Q, and MR is change in TR by change in the quantity. So these are the three concepts of revenue that we have studied under the perfect competitive market. A market which is having a large number of buyers and sellers who are selling a homogeneous product, and the purpose of selling this product is to get the revenue, and this revenue can be obtained by the firm in these three headings, that is TR, which means P into Q, price into quantity, AR is equal to TR divided by Q, and MR is equal to change in total revenue divided by change in the quantity. So let us understand as to what does these three concepts mean in detail more. Now to start with, as we all know that TR is nothing but the total revenue. Let us understand this concept with the help of an example. Let us take one example. There is one seller, first TR, a seller. For TR, I am giving an example that a seller, he is selling, what is he selling? He is selling 100 bulbs. A seller has produced 100 bulbs. The price of each bulb is 200 rupees. He is produced, this is the production. He has produced 100 bulbs and he is selling with the price of this bulb is 200 rupees. So what is TR? TR is P into Q. So this is the price, quantity is 100. So when we want to study about the total revenue, the total income that he is getting is 20,000 rupees. That means P into Q, price into quantity. What is the price? Price is 200 rupees into what is the quantity? He is producing 100 bulbs and he is getting 20,000 rupees. That is total revenue. Total income which a firm has earned by selling 100 bulbs in the market. It has produced 100 bulbs and after producing those 100 bulbs, the firm is selling those bulbs with the price is at 200 rupees each bulb. So the total income that the firm is getting after producing these bulbs is rupees 2,000. That is the income that a firm gets under the total revenue concept. That is the meaning of that. Now, average revenue. So what is the meaning of average revenue? Similar example we can take it. AR is equal to TR by Q. TR by Q stands for the average revenue. Now the firm has got total revenue. What is the total revenue that the firm has obtained? The firm has obtained, when we are speaking about this is TR example, and now we are studying about the AR example. AR is equal to TR by Q. So what is the revenue that the firm has got here? The firm has got 20,000 rupees. And how many quantity the bulbs that the firm has sold? The firm has sold 100 bulbs. Now what is the average revenue? So the average revenue is 200 rupees. When we speak about average revenue is nothing but a price per unit. What is the price of one bulb? The firm has produced total number of 100 bulbs. When we are speaking about the average revenue, what is the price per unit is called as average revenue. So it has produced 100 bulbs. What is the price of each bulb? It is selling the bulbs at the price of 200 rupees. One bulb is costing 200 rupees. So what is average revenue? What is the price of one bulb? What is the price of a commodity? So one bulb, the firm has got the revenue of 20,000 rupees. So the average revenue that the firm is getting here is 200 rupees. That is the meaning of average revenue. Next concept is marginal revenue. We are studying about revenue, and revenue we are studying under three concepts, that is marginal revenue, average revenue and total revenue. Total revenue stands for the total income that the firm gets. What is the total money that the firm has got? That is called as the total revenue. Average revenue means what is the income of one commodity. What is the price of one commodity that the firm has produced? The firm has produced 100 bulbs, and after producing 100 bulbs, the firm is selling at what price? That is the meaning of average revenue. Marginal revenue stands for the additional income that the firm gets. How the firm gets the additional income? By selling additional unit. Suppose the firm is producing one bulb, unit is 1, and the firm is producing this bulb, and the total income that the firm is getting by producing this bulb is 200 rupees. The firm produces additional bulb, second bulb. the firm sells this bulb at 200 again. So total money that the firm gets is 400. Increase in the income, addition to the income. Marginal revenue means change in the income. How much money has changed? When this money will change, when there is a change in the quantity, the number of commodity that the firm is producing, when it changes, so how much commodity has changed, that will lead to the marginal revenue to the firm. That is the meaning of marginal revenue. So we have studied so far about the perfect competition, features of perfect competition, and when a firm is working, the main motto or the purpose of a firm to work in a market is to get the income. So how it is getting the revenue? It is getting the revenue in these three heads: total revenue, average revenue, as well as the marginal revenue. Now the next thing that we have to study, as to understand it in a more better form, we can draw the table of this and we can find out as to how and what is the relationship between a total revenue and the average revenue and the marginal revenue. Now next is, let us try to understand this concept in a more better form or in a more clearer form. So to start with, we will draw a table, and this table will explain us in a more better form about the relationship between total revenue, marginal revenue, as well as average revenue. So to start with, first, quantity sold. How many quantities are sold? And this quantity sold we are representing by Q. How many quantities are sold by the firm in the market, and this can be represented by Q. Next is TR, total revenue, is nothing but P into Q, price into quantity. Next is marginal revenue. What is marginal revenue? Marginal revenue is nothing but change in TR by change in Q. Change in the total quantity by the change in the total revenue. So how much is the revenue that is being changed, and how this revenue has changed because of the change in the quantity. Next we have is average revenue. Average revenue is equal to TR by Q. We have already studied about these formulas, so there is nothing to find out. Now we are going to read this relationship between the three, that means the average revenue, the marginal revenue, as well as the total revenue, how they are related with each other, and what is the relationship between three of them. So let us understand it. Number of goods that are sold by the firm, we start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total units that the firm is selling. Total commodity that the firm has decided to sell in the market is starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have taken the total commodities. This is the ultimate number of commodity that the firm is selling. What is TR now? TR is equal to price into quantity. So at what price the firm is selling the commodity? Quantity we know that the one quantity, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the firm has decided to sell the commodity. First commodity it is selling at 10, and so the firm gets the total revenue is at 10. Next it goes to 20 and 30 and 40 and 50. This is the income, which says that when we see this table, quantity is 0, revenue is also 0. When the firm is not selling anything, when the firm is not doing any business, the firm is not getting any income. The firm is selling the commodity, one commodity, that is the first commodity. When it is selling, it is getting 10, or we can say the revenue is equal to 10. It is increased the commodity to 2, the revenue has come to 20. it has increased to 3, revenue has come to 30, to 4, revenue has come to 40, and to 5, the revenue has come to 50. So we will find that the total revenue is increasing here. The total income is increasing as the firm has increased the number of units. Next is the marginal revenue. So what is the marginal revenue? Marginal revenue is TR divided by Q. So we have to divide this total revenue by the quantity. You have to divide this 10 by 1. You have to divide this 20 by 2. You have to divide this 30 by 3. You have to divide this 40 by 4. You have to divide this 50 by 5. Change in total revenue, change in total revenue, change in the quantity, sorry, change in total revenue. So 10 is 1, 20 quantity is 2, 30 quantity is 3, 40 quantity is 4, 50 quantity is 5. So this is equal to 10, is equal to 10, 10. 10 and 10. Change in the total revenue, change in the quantity. So how much revenue has changed with the change in the quantity, that will give us the marginal revenue. Average revenue is TR by Q. So TR by Q, total revenue by the number of units that is being produced, that will give us the average revenue. So now we take the average revenue. The average revenue will also be the same. We will find that it is also be 10. Average revenue that we are getting is also 10 here. Now look at this table. What do we understand from the table? The quantity sold by the firm is increasing. Firm has increased the quantity. So how much quantity it has increased? From 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total number of units it is being sold. What is TR? TR is P into Q. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. This is the income that the firm has got. What is marginal revenue? Marginal revenue is equal to TR, change in TR and change in the quantity. So how much quantity has changed? Quantity has changed from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are writing that, and 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So we will get the marginal revenue. Average revenue is equal to TR by Q. That means total revenue divided by quantity. When we want to study the average revenue, is equal to TR. What is TR? TR is 10 by, what is the quantity here? Is 1, is 10. And marginal revenue we can also study by looking at the total revenue column. By seeing the total revenue column, the below number we can minus with the above number, and you will get the same information. Suppose we minus 20 minus 10, 10 minus 0 is 0 and 10, and then if you do 20 minus 10 will also give us 10, 30 minus 20 will also give us 30. So a simple way to find out the marginal revenue can be obtained in this way also, wherein from below number we can deduct the above number and we can get the marginal revenue. Now what do we understand from this? The thing that we understand from here is that the firm is selling an output. It is selling an output which is increasing from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The output has changed, the output is increasing. And then you have this total revenue, which says that with the increase in the output, the total income that the firm is getting is also increasing. The income has also increased from 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Now we come to the marginal revenue. Marginal revenue is the change in total revenue. So how much income has changed? From 0 to 50 it has come. How much quantity has changed? The quantities have changed from 0 to 5. That means the firm has been increasing the output, and the output has been changing, or it is being increased from 0, it has increased to 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the way how we get this margin revenue. Average revenue is what is the price of a particular product. We have to see the total revenue column and you have to see the quantity. So 10 divided by 1, 20 divided by 2, we will get this average revenue. How you get this 10 here? 20 divided by 2. So you will get the 10. TR by Q is average revenue. Marginal revenue, change in TR. How much TR has changed? How much quantity has changed? TR has changed to 10, quantity is only changed to 1. TR has changed to 20, quantity has changed to 2 and 20. What is the difference? Again it is 10. So this way we are getting the table of the 3. Next, let us try to understand the relationship between this revenue, that is total revenue, marginal revenue, as well as average revenue, in the form of a diagram. As to what do we understand by that and how can we understand it in a more better form. The first diagram which we are going to study is about total revenue. TR stands for total revenue curve. Total revenue curve. How we are going to draw this diagram? We have already drawn the table. From the table we know as to how this revenue is increasing. The revenue has increased from 0 to 10 to 20, 30, 40, 50. So seeing that table, we can draw a total revenue curve. Zero, x-axis, y-axis. X-axis is representing output of a firm and the y-axis is representing the revenue of a firm. How the firm gets the revenue? We have seen that even if the output is 0, the total revenue will start from 0. So now we are going to draw this diagram, and this is our total revenue curve, which stands for TR, which says that it is a straight line which is going upward. Revenue is increasing. Revenue has come till 50. As we have seen in the table says that from 0 to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So this is the income. When we see, and the output has increased from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so total revenue that we are getting is 50. And it also says that the total revenue, what is the shape of a curve? It is an upward curve. Upward curve. It is going up. It is the firm has to get the revenue. Any firm, when it is working in a market, the purpose of a firm is to get the income. Without income, no firm is interested to be into the market. So here we will find that the revenue has increased, and so the firm has got the income, which is almost to 50, and it shows the relationship between the total revenue that the firm earns and the relationship between the output. Revenue and the output are having a relationship, and the revenue that the firm is getting, it is up to 50 that it is getting, and the output that the firm is producing is 5. So that is the meaning of total revenue. Total revenue, now when we draw a line here, this is AQ1. This AQ1, and here we get OQ1. The slope of this straight line, the slope of this straight line A AQ1 divided by OQ1. The slope of this straight line AQ1 divided by OQ1 is nothing but P. It is price. AQ1 divided by OQ1 is nothing but the P, or it is also called as P is nothing but market price. What is P here? P is nothing but the market price that the firm is selling the output in the market. That is the meaning of that. So total revenue curve we have drawn. What is the shape of total revenue curve? Is an upward sloping curve which says that AQ1 is the output that is being produced and OQ1 is the output and AQ1 is the slope of a curve, and here we find that when we divide AQ1 divided by OQ1, this gives us P. So what is P then? The P is nothing but the market price. So this is about the total revenue curve. The next curve we have to study is about the average revenue. So how do we draw this average revenue curve, and what is the shape of average revenue curve? Average revenue zero, X and Y. Same thing, output we are writing here. Average revenue is the price of a product, so we represent x-axis shows the output and the y-axis shows the price. And how we draw this average revenue? The average revenue curve, we are drawing AR is equal to MR is equal to P. Average revenue curve. Average revenue curve. What is the shape of average revenue curve? It is a straight line. We show the price on the y-axis. We show the output on the x-axis. AR, average revenue curve, is a horizontal straight line. That means when we draw on the x-axis output and the price, the horizontal straight line cuts the y-axis. This is the y-axis. This horizontal straight line cuts the y-axis and gives us a straight horizontal line, and this straight horizontal line is called as the average revenue, average income that the firm gets. How the firm gets the average income, and this is also called as price line. This line is also called as price line. This average revenue, when we are seeing, is also called as the price line. This horizontal line which we are seeing it on the diagram. So this average revenue curve also shows the demand curve. This AR is equal to MR is equal to P is equal to D. It is also called as demand curve. The diagram that we have studied is about the total revenue curve as well as the marginal revenue curve. We can see the relationship and the shape of these two curves. Total revenue is an upward sloping curve, and here we find that this TR, that is a total revenue, if we see our table, it has increased to 50. So when we are saying that the total revenue has increased to this amount, here we find that the slope of this curve AQ1, OQ1, it shows the price or the total income that the firm gets. Next we have drawn is a diagram of an average revenue curve. So what do we mean by average revenue? Average revenue is nothing but the income that the firm gets by selling per unit of a commodity. So in our example, we have seen that the firm gets 10. So what is the price here? Price is 10, which is fixed. Perfect competitive market is a price taker and not the price maker. We have already studied that. They have to accept the price which is there in the market. They cannot do any changes on the price which is prevailing in the market. So they are the price taker. The price is fixed to 10. So average revenue is also this horizontal line. AR is equal to MR is equal to P is equal to D. We will find that these all are the straight horizontal line. When you see the table also, marginal revenue is 10, average revenue is also 10. If you see the table, in the table we will find that both are 10. So AR is also called as MR, is also equal to P, is also called as D. So average revenue is called as the price line in a perfect competitive market. So this is about the revenue we have studied, and we have studied that how are the different heads of revenue you have studied, as to total revenue, as to average revenue, as to marginal revenue. 3 types of revenue and how they are related to each other, and what is the shape. The shape of TR is always upward. It starts from 0. TR starts from 0. Price average revenue is fixed at 10. So it's a horizontal straight line, a difference that you must keep it in mind. Total revenue starts from origin 0. It is an upward sloping curve. But when we come to average revenue, the price is being fixed at rupees 10 in our table that we have seen. So it cuts the y-axis, AR cuts the y-axis at price 10, and it is a straight line since the firm is a price taker and not the price maker. So firm has accepted the price is 10, and this price is also called as the marginal revenue, is also called as a price, it is also called as a demand curve in a perfect competitive market. We are studying about the theory of a firm, how the firm behaves in a perfect competitive market.